Welcome to the very first episode of the Go Borderless podcast. I'm your host, Marie, and I'm thrilled to share with you today not just my personal journey, but the remarkable transformation of my homeland, Estonia. A story that has profoundly shaped my understanding of global living and the vision we're building with Go Borderless. Born in 1990, I entered the world at a transformative moment in history when the Soviet Union was crumbling. My birth certificate, that first official document marking my existence, still carries the distinctive CCCP markings, a tangible reminder of a system on the brink of collapse. This timing would prove deeply significant, as I witnessed firsthand how Estonia, emerging from decades of Soviet control, would embark on an extraordinary journey of reinvention. What transpired in my homeland over the subsequent decades would not only shape my personal trajectory, but would establish a powerful template for national transformation, demonstrating how a small country could harness technology, embrace bold thinking, and completely reimagine itself for the digital age. Before we do a deep dive into Estonia's transformation, let me orient those who might not be familiar with this small but mighty Baltic nation. Estonia is located in Northern Europe, one of three Baltic states nestled between Finland to the north, Latvia to the south, Russia to the east, and Sweden to the west. With just 1.3 million inhabitants, roughly the population of San Diego, it's one of Europe's smallest countries by population, although it covers 45,000 square kilometers of land. That makes us one of the least densely populated countries with just 31.6 people per square kilometer. Our capital, Tallinn, is a medieval marvel on the Baltic Sea, while our landscape combines dense forests with over 2,000 islands and a culture that blends Nordic pragmatism with our own distinct Baltic identity. But don't let our size fool you. Estonia leads Europe in several remarkable metrics. We have the highest number of startups per capita. We were the first country with nationwide free public Wi-Fi. We have most comprehensive e-governance system in the world. And it is the birthplace of Skype and numerous other tech unicorns. Additionally, we're the top performer in PISA assessments, consistently ranking among the best in the world for student achievements in mathematics, science, and reading, often outperforming much larger and wealthier nations like Germany, France, and the UK. We're also the European leader in adult digital skills, according to Eurostat, and have the highest rate of e-voting adoption globally. And last but not least, World Cleanup Day, with 150 countries participating this year, was conceived in Estonia. But perhaps more tellingly, we're the only country where more companies are founded online than offline, thanks to our e-residency program, a digital gateway that allows anyone anywhere to access our business environment. These educational achievements aren't coincidental. They're the direct result of initiatives like Tiger Leap and now AI Leap, proving that educational innovation translates into measurable results. This is the Estonia that shaped me. A nation where being small meant thinking big and where digital innovation wasn't just policy. Picture this. It's August 20th, 1991. Estonia has just declared the restoration of its independence after 50 years of Soviet occupation. The Soviet legacy left Estonia with a devastated economy, inflated ruble, an agricultural sector crippled by forced collectivization, with over 56% of farms seized in April 1949 following mass deportations, and industries that functioned merely as components in the USSR in an efficient centrally planned system. While Estonia's previous Independence Act of 1918 had begun with a ruined post-war economy, the Soviet era inflicted deeper wounds through systemic distortion and societal trauma. Mass deportations claimed an estimated 60,000 lives in the first year of occupation alone, with up to 80,000 more people deported between 1945 and 1953. The deliberate policy of Russification dramatically altered the country's demographics. Estonia faced more than just reform. It needed to rebuild its nation and economy from scratch, replacing the centrally planned system with market-based mechanisms. But where others might have chosen gradual reform, Estonia chose shock therapy. In 1992, just 1 year after independence, Estonia introduced its own currency, the Estonian kron, stabilizing the economy almost overnight. Then came something unprecedented. In 1994, Estonia became the first country in the world to adopt a flat income tax of 26%. These weren't just economic decisions, they were declarations of a new identity. For my generation, technology wasn't merely a tool for development, it was a symbol of breaking free from the Soviet past, a vital link to the West. One moment crystallizes this mindset. When Finland offered Estonia its old analog telephone exchange system, the new government refused. Instead, they chose to invest limited resources in building Estonia's own digital infrastructure from scratch. Imagine a newly independent nation with an extremely fragile economy saying no to free equipment because it wasn't digital enough. In 1996, when I was just 6 years old, Estonia started an important project called the Tiger League program. It was created by two government leaders, Toomas Hendrik Ilves, who was Estonia's ambassador to the United States at the time and later became our president, and Jaak Aaviksoo, who was the Minister of Education. The program had a simple but important goal: to put computers and internet access in every school in Estonia. By 1997, just a year later when I was entering the education system, 97% of Estonian schools had achieved comprehensive internet access. This remarkable achievement stood in stark contrast to the global landscape of 1997, when much of the world was still trying to comprehend the significance and potential of the internet. In our small, tranquil village nestled in the Estonian countryside, elementary school students like myself had unprecedented access to well-equipped computer labs and reliable internet connectivity. A privilege that was particularly noteworthy considering that many households across the developed nations had yet to purchase their first personal computer. This early digital inclusion would prove transformative for an entire generation of Estonian students. The memories of these formative years remain vivid and indelible in my mind. I can still recall the infectious excitement and pure joy of those initial encounters with these fascinating new machines. However, our interaction with the technology extended far beyond mere recreational activities. We were immersed in a comprehensive curriculum that seamlessly integrated computer fundamentals with traditional academic subjects. This educational approach was revolutionary. It wasn't simply about acquiring technical proficiency, but about cultivating a fundamental shift in perspective. We developed a deep-seated understanding that technology could serve as a powerful tool for addressing complex challenges and dissolving geographical barriers. This educational foundation laid the groundwork for what would become a cornerstone of Estonia's society, the sophisticated digital identity system. This innovative platform emerged organically from our early embrace of technology, eventually enabling citizens to access an extensive array of government services through secure digital IDs. The thoughtful and methodical implementation of this technology did more than just digitize existing processes. It fundamentally reimagined them, eliminating bureaucratic obstacles and creating a more efficient, accessible system that would become a model for digital governance worldwide. Living through this taught me several crucial lessons. Innovation often comes from necessity. Constraints can drive creative solutions. Small nations can punch far above their weight through strategic technology adoption. And trust and transparency in digital systems are earned through design, not rhetoric. Now, Estonia is taking another bold leap. In September 2025, Estonia is launching AI Leap, a nationwide initiative that will integrate artificial intelligence into our education system at a scale no other country has attempted. The program begins with 20,000 high school students and 3,000 teachers gaining access to advanced AI tools. But this isn't just adding new technology to classrooms. What particularly excites me about AI Leap is its commitment to equity. While some students already have access to premium AI tools, not everyone has the means or guidance to use them efficiently. Asim Sikut, member of President Alar Karis's Digital Council and Estonia's former government chief information officer, explains that for the sake of our national development, we need to provide opportunities for everyone to use artificial intelligence wisely and adjust the content and form of learning according to the needs of each student, regardless of their socioeconomic means. This inclusive approach mirrors why Tiger Leap was so transformative. Ensuring technological advancement benefits all citizens, not just the privileged few. The program has secured partnerships with industry leaders like Anthropic and OpenAI, creating what the government described as a sort of testbed for next generation AI-based learning applications and large-scale AI skilling. It's not just about using AI tools. It's about preparing students to live and work in a world where AI literacy is as fundamental as digital literacy was in the 1990s. Looking back at my own journey from Tiger Leap student to founding MYExpatGO in Malaysia, I see direct parallels. The principles that guided Tiger Leap, democratizing access to technology, removing unnecessary complexity, and preparing for a future that wasn't fully arrived yet, are the same principles I am applying to transforming the international relocation experience. Just as Tiger Leap prepared my generation for a digital future, AI Leap is preparing the next generation for an AI integrated world. And just as Estonian startups have punched above their weight globally, I believe these AI literate students will pioneer innovations we can barely imagine today. The journey continues, and the spirit of that small Baltic nation that dared to dream boldly lives on. In every breakthrough, every innovation, and every border crossed. But how did that digital revolution happen? Two innovations from the foundation of what became known as Estonia, the X-Road and the EID system. X-Road launched in 2001, and it is a decentralized data exchange layer that connects all of Estonia's public and private databases. Crucially, this is where the learning from Soviet surveillance was applied. It does this without creating a massive central database. The design emphasizes citizen control and transparency. The EID system, introduced in 2002, gave every Estonian a secure digital identity. But here's the revolutionary part. Citizens could see exactly who accessed their data and when, even to this day. This transparency was essential for building trust in a nation with recent memories of Soviet surveillance. Today, the results speak for themselves. 100% of public services are now available online. I can vote from my laptop here in Malaysia, and anybody can access their health records from anywhere. We've realized the principle of make data move, not people. The philosophy was simple, but profound. In a small country like Estonia, we couldn't afford a large, cumbersome public administration. Digitalization wasn't just about modernization, it was about efficiency, transparency, and ultimately about reimagining the relationship between citizens and their government. The Skype effect. In 2003, something magical happened that would redefine Estonia's place in the global tech ecosystem forever. A team of Estonian engineers, Ahti Heinla, Priit Kasesalu, and Jaan Tallinn, created Skype. When eBay bought Skype for $2.6 billion in 2005, and then Microsoft acquired it for $8.5 billion in 2011, it didn't just make headlines. It created what became known as the Skype Mafia. These early Skype employees and investors became angel investors and founders of new startups. Companies like Wise, formerly TransferWise, and Bolt emerged from this ecosystem. Suddenly, Estonian entrepreneurs realized they could compete globally from Tallinn. This psychological shift was transformative. It proved that a small Baltic nation could produce world-class technology companies. This led to innovative policies like the e-residency program in 2014. Today, anyone in the world can establish an European Union company entirely online and access Estonia's digital infrastructure. It's like digital citizenship for entrepreneurs, and it drives 38% of Estonia's startups. The Estonian Edge is turning smallness into strength. You might wonder how a country of 1.3 million people punches so far above its weight in global tech. The answer lies in turning perceived limitations into competitive advantages. Agility. In Estonia, startup founders can text ministers directly. Decision making is nimble, and we can test new policies like a sandbox. Global mindset. With such a small domestic market, Estonian companies must think globally from day one. There is no option to build domestically first. Trust and transparency. High levels of public trust in digital systems actively cultivated through secure design and citizen control over data. Strategic focus. Limited resources force concentration on key priorities, primarily technology and digital innovation. And cultural pragmatism. Estonians are known for being direct, results-oriented, and embracing change because we had to. Now, when I talk about Estonia's transformation, it's important to remember that behind every national success story are individuals who embody the spirit of innovation and determination. Let me introduce you to just a few remarkable Estonians who've shaped not only our nation, but the world. Alar Karis, who was elected President of Estonia in 2021, represents the intersection of academic excellence and forward-thinking leadership. As a former top development biologist, he brings a scientist's analytical approach to guiding our nation's digital future, continuing Estonia's tradition of evidence-based governance that began with our early digital initiatives. On Tallinn, one of the original creators of Skype and the legendary file-sharing program Kazaa, exemplifies the Skype mafia phenomenon we discussed earlier. His journey from coding in Tallinn to creating technologies that changed how billions communicate demonstrates Estonia's capacity to produce world-class innovators. Arvo Pärt, whose compositions have profoundly influenced our understanding of music, shows that Estonia's excellence isn't limited to technology. As the most performed living composer in the world, he represents our nation's cultural depth, a reminder that digital innovation flourishes best when rooted in rich cultural soil. Markus Willig, who founded the ride-sharing platform Bolt at just 19 years old, embodies the young Estonian entrepreneurial spirit nurtured by programs like Tigerleap. Today, Bolt operates in 25 countries, proving that ideas born in Tallinn can reshape industries across continents. These individuals represent the diverse faces of Estonia's success, from science and technology to arts and entrepreneurship. They're proof that when you combine digital infrastructure with educational innovation and cultural depth, you create an environment where exceptional people can emerge and thrive. At 16, I was driven by that same Estonian curiosity. I left home to explore beyond the boundaries of my familiar world. What began as a physical journey soon evolved into a mindset. Every border I crossed taught me something valuable about adapting and thriving in unfamiliar environments. As I gained experience in the international moving industry managing moves across the world for companies from UK, Canada, and the United States, I noticed a consistent pattern. Relocation services were fragmented, impersonal, and failed to address the holistic needs of people on the move. Having personally relocated 5 times across 3 different continents myself, I've experienced firsthand the logistical challenges, cultural adjustments, and emotional roller coasters that come with international moves. Each relocation added another layer to my understanding of what makes a successful transition. For those unfamiliar with the term, global mobility management encompasses everything involved in moving people across borders. From immigration and compliance to housing, logistics, cultural adaptation, and ongoing support. The traditional approach to global mobility has been heavily corporate focused, primarily serving large multinational companies, relocating executives and their families. The services typically include immigration and visa processing, household goods shipping, home search, cultural orientation, tax compliance support, and school search for children. While these services are essential, they often operate in silos and are often primitively expensive for self-initiated expatriates, digital nomads, or employees of smaller organizations. As I reflect on Estonia's journey and my own, several profound lessons emerge for anyone embracing a borderless life. Technology should empower, not control. Estonia's decentralized digital infrastructure and transparency-first approach created trust, not surveillance. Small can be mighty. Estonia proves that with the right vision and execution, size doesn't determine impact. Borders are increasingly artificial. Estonia went from being a closed Soviet system to a digital pioneer in one generation, showing how quickly traditional barriers can fall. Trust is earned through design. Transparent systems, citizen control, and clear communication build the foundation for adoption. And last but not least, global thinking is essential. In a small country, we have no choice but to think internationally, a mindset that's becoming essential for everyone in our connected world. I am also excited to announce that on May 19th, we are launching the first course on the Go Borderless school called Moving Simplified. It is a comprehensive course designed to provide you with knowledge and tools necessary to make your international move seamless and stress-free. Throughout the course, you will learn about important factors to consider when moving abroad, including navigating customs and documentation requirements, packing and shipping strategies, and adjusting to a new culture and lifestyle. Before we wrap up this first episode, I'm excited to tell you about our next conversation in the Go Borderless podcast. On June 3rd, we'll be releasing a special episode titled Diplomatic Transitions Inside the World of Embassy Relocations. I had the absolute honor to be speaking with Rahul Srivastava, the High Commissioner of India to Namibia, about the fascinating world of diplomatic moves, a perspective many of us never get to hear. Having served as a diplomat across Russia, Kazakhstan, Venezuela, Romania, and now Namibia, he shares insights that go far beyond what you might expect from embassy relocations. We'll explore how diplomatic status affects the moving process, what happens when you have just days to relocate to another continent, and the powerful story of how he and his team evacuated 85,000 Indian citizens through Romania during the Ukraine crisis. But here's what I found most surprising. Many of the challenges and strategies in diplomatic relocations apply directly to any of us having to navigate international transitions. Whether you're planning your own move abroad or simply curious about how global citizens adapt across cultures, this episode offers invaluable insights. As I continue this journey from Southeast Asia, I carry with me the lessons of a small nation that dared to dream digital when the world was still analog. The path to borderless living isn't always straightforward, but it's invariably rewarding. By sharing our collective wisdom, from Estonia's e-governance revolution to personal stories of successful transitions, we can transform international relocation from a daunting challenge into an exciting opportunity for growth and discovery. I'm Mari Juk, and this is the Go Borderless podcast. Thank you for joining me on this extended journey through Estonia's digital revolution and my personal path to founding a company that makes international transitions seamless. Next time you vote online, make a digital payment, or run a business remotely, remember that small Baltic nation that proved transformation can happen not just quickly, but permanently. Until next time, keep transcending those boundaries.